Hello and welcome to Talk Posh, supported by Supply Green Shopping Centre, the spicemarket.co.uk, and Head to Head Barbers. Nearly forgot that one. We're going old school tonight, mainly because Alex is not in town. He's had a tiring weekend, bless him, so he's not here. So we're going old school. We're going old school on the mobile phone, and hopefully the sounds okay, which will be good. Tonight, anyway, we discuss getting beaten by another weak team and ask, is it time to seriously consider the manager's future? We look forward to, or should I say dread, what's going to happen against Pompey and Rochdale. Plus, we announced the centre-back you voted into the worst ever Posh 11. The lads are here to chat through it all. If you want to contact us, comment below. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can tweet us at TalkPosh. So those of you that tuned into our live stream on Wednesday when we played Tranmere, you would have heard of our views on that game. So instead of that, we're going to cover that later. We will instead talk about the woeful loss against yet another team that are below us in the league. Without sounding like a broken record, lads, I think, we talked about it. It seems for the last few weeks that we always seem to be doing this. So, Dale, I'm going to come to you first, buddy. Why the hell are we losing to these kind of teams, mate?
I really don't know. I think if I knew, I'd be their manager, but I ain't, so I don't know. But what I will say is, even though we lost...
You still get blocked by Dale.
Even though we lost and the performance weren't great, I still think we should have won the game. Do you know what I mean? If we'd taken our opportunities, Madison, okay, fantastic crosses in, nobody on the end of them.
Same with Leo, actually. There was a cross.
There was one cross, but one of his crosses was absolutely shocking. Yeah. I might as well just kicked it over the roof. But if we'd taken our chances, we would have won, and we wouldn't have been moaning. Do you know what I mean? Even though we didn't play very well. It doesn't help we've only got Marriott up front on his own. Whoever else is playing, Danny Lloyd is not an out-and-out striker, to be fair. And I think it's a bit harsh that he actually was taken off after 58 minutes, was it? Not long. Mate, you've got to give him a run. It was disappointing we lost. The performance weren't great, but it's a game we still should have won on the chances that we had. Vassell looked like a different player. I actually thought he wasn't a bad player for us when he was with us. He wasn't the best, but he wasn't the worst by a long shot. He wouldn't have made the worst Posh 11. But he actually looked really good, really strong. He looked up for it, obviously, against a former team. But disappointed, really disappointed.
Chris, like we talked about, yet again, we're losing to teams that are off form. Just going through the list, I thought it was quite a good stat. I think someone put on Twitter the other day, it might have been Sam from BBC Cams. He said, when we played Oldham, they only won 1 in 9 before we played them. Oxford lost 3 in a row. Gillingham, no win in 4. Scunthorpe, no win in 5. Blackpool lost the past 3, and then all of them we lost. What's going on?
I think consistency is a big part of the problem. He started the same team, didn't he, that played against Tranmere, and that team confidently put 5 past Tranmere. Looked like they were running away with it before the sending off anyway. Come out and they look a completely different side against Blackpool, who, as you said, were struggling. It's been the same, I think, a few games this season where I think it was after the Shrewsbury game we had the same team play the game afterwards or something and couldn't get the team motivated and I don't know what the solution is really.
Well, there's got to be a solution, Ben, isn't there, mate? Because it's quickly turning into a season of tragedy.
Yeah, solution. Come January, there's going to be a lot of changes. That's what you'd like to think. I think that's something happened actually last match that showed it. That was Conor O'Malley starting in a league game. Despite Bond not really doing anything to warrant dropping, O'Malley now starting league games and getting a proper run. I mean, what's that, his 3rd game straight?
Nothing, isn't it?
So that he sort of signals that it looks like we're going to be going with him after January, probably sending Bond back and using that money that frees up in the wage bill to go out and improve, maybe hopefully a new striker you'd hope for, wouldn't you?
You might not have seen it, but McCann's interview this afternoon, it was actually a little bit about O'Malley, and the reason why he didn't change it was because O'Malley, I think he kept 3 clean sheets in 5 appearances, whereas he actually admitted that we are conceding far too many goals. We've actually conceded the same amount of goals as Plymouth, who were second from bottom. I mean, I understand that they shipped 4 at the weekend, but still, that is. But it's the thing which I keep saying to you: we're going to score 1 more than you all season, and that's fair enough because we are the 3rd leading goal scorers in the. But we can't have it, you know.
We're creating the chances, though, aren't we? Sometimes. I mean, look at the last game. A lot of people were going on about the performance last game as though it was the worst performance they've seen this season.
I don't think
no,
it was at all.
they haven't.
We
actually produced chances where there's been. I can tell you 100 times over the years I've stood on the London Road end and watched us not do a single effort on goal the whole game. So it wasn't all that bad, but it just really showed how inept we are up front at the moment. If Jack Marriott's not firing, then we're not firing.
Dan Wade just made a very good point about Junior. If Junior was playing on Saturday, he would have been on the end of a couple of them.
Yeah, but you could say that. Yeah, but you could say that. But you would expect Marriott to score in on Saturday as well, though, wouldn't you?
But with Marriott though, I actually I'm feeling a little bit sorry for Marriott at the moment because he's a bit isolated on his own. He seems to be doing the work for two. In my opinion, do you know what I mean? We're not playing to with strengths again because we haven't got the Morias doing the dirty work. So Marriott's having to do his own dirty work and is expecting to score. Carnu is not the answer at the moment, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I did have a note down to talk about that, Dale. Talk to me about Carnu because I think, talk to me about him.
Let Chris talk about him.
Chris, do you want to talk about Carnu?
Well, I think McAntony touched on it online and that he was brought in this season to be a fourth striker, so he was going to learn, develop at the club while playing in the shadow with three strikers ahead of him. Obviously Marias got injured, and then with the issues going around Miller at the moment, suddenly he's bumped up the list into two. I think if we're in a position where we're not going to be playing two strikers to start with, we need to change from that 3-5-2 formation that we started with at the season. I would go with four across the back and bump Leo into midfield. You play with Marriott up front on his own, and then you have the two holding midfielders, and then the other three midfielders are a combination of Lloyd, Maddison, De Silva Lopez and Guion. You pick three out of the four of those, and you've always got a fourth one to come off the bench and try and change things up. That eases the pressure on the guys at the back, because we'll have four solidly across the back. It capitalises on the potential we've got in Leo, I think, and they're interchangeable in that position.
Fully agree with you. I think it's a stage now, right? The five, whatever we want to call it, the three, the five, whatever, at the back, we've done us all right to start off the start of the season. I think now what we need to do, confidence ain't great. Go back to basics, a 4-4-2. And when I mean 4-4-2, I don't mean playing Baldwin as a right back.
No.
No, he's good at crossing though.
I mean, Shepard's had an injury, hasn't he? But I don't know what's happened to Penny. Is Penny out on loan?
No,
I just don't
he
think
was
he's
on the
up
bench.
to
But
speed yet.
I still don't think Penny's the solution either. But you can't be playing a four at the back like we was part of the game on Saturday with Baldwin playing right wing back. Right back.
I didn't quite understand as well having Husey playing the left wing back position and then moving him into central defence and dropping Baldwin for that kind of thing. I thought, even though Baldwin hasn't been playing particularly brilliantly, I think the balance across the back is better when you've got someone right footed, someone left footed, either side of Taylor. You know, we dropped Husey back in there. We were then. It seemed a bit imbalanced to me, and although we didn't concede any further during that game, you know,
we weren't playing to the formation either.
Yeah,
when you're playing wing backs and you've got two attacking players who can break off wide as well, and yet we were playing it all of the centre of the park. So and what's the point when you've got the players wide to put the crosses in the first place?
Just what what Lenny's saying here. Play to our strengths. At the moment, it seems like we're putting round pegs in square holes. It ain't working. You know, you've got Maddison. I'm not his biggest fan, but when he plays well, he plays well. When he puts the ball in, he puts it in he does pretty well, to be fair, at the right time. Play him on the left, like Lenny says, get the best out of the players. You know, don't try and fit a player in just because of who he is. Leo, we've spoke about Leo all season.
Yeah, all
he's
season.
playing a right wing back.
All season.
We've all seen him. When Leo plays in that sort of attacking midfield role, you know, he's a different player. It's like two different players. If we're going to play him in that position, or don't play him at all.
I'm starting to feel real sympathy for the lad, if I'm completely honest. Because he's been put in a no-win situation, and at his age as well, he does not need this constant pressure, especially off the fans, who are only giving it to him because we all understand he's not going to the mechanic going, I only want to play in this position.
Yeah. He's
being told to. He's a team player. He's going in where he's told to go.
But going back, you know, people saying, we need to invest in January. I think the only area we do need to invest in, if I'm totally honest, is a centre forward with the Miller situation, and depending on, hopefully, Junior will be back in January. But if he has a sort of a hiccup You know, we've got to rely on Marriott and Carnu.
I
actually think the players. Sorry, I think we've got good enough players, and we've proved that we've got good enough players. We just need to play the right players in the right position against the right teams.
Yeah, and just going back to Lopez as well, I was going to raise a point about obviously a lot of people were disappointed why Edwards didn't start the game.
100%.
Well, but Hughes did play well against Tranmere, Chris. So you would have expected that. So would you have bought an Edwards for Leo?
Well, Edwards didn't even make the squad against Tranmere, so you'd always
said that was injury though.
Well, if it's injury, then what's the point in rushing him back into a team that essentially won 5-0 the previous game?
Because it was a team that's 2 leagues below where we are.
10 men.
And against 10 men as well. Yeah. A fit Edwards, what happens if it was Madison? He had a game off because he was injured. They would have prized him straight back in. It's fair to say.
What I'm trying to say though is you've got a team you've got a group of players who won 5-0 the previous game, regardless of who the opposition were and whether we were playing against 10 men or not. I mean, we've played against 10 men points this season and last season and gone and lost a game, so I don't think that's...
Yeah, but my point is...
But Edwards, again, if he's had a knock on that as well, there's always a risk you bring him back.
No, I agree with that. But my point is, if Madison had a knock and he missed a game and we won 5-0 without him, he would have been straight back in. So
not
what's
necessarily. He's done it before and dropped him.
Leo, I'm sorry, Leo. We're talking about Leo. With Edwards, I think if you've got a fit Edwards and a fit Madison, you know, if they're fit, you start them in the right positions, in my opinion.
Just out of curiosity, if I went round, come January, do you think Kanu should be kept as the third, fourth striker? We do bring someone else in, or would you ship him out on loan? You have to do one or the other.
I'd keep him because we can't afford. You know, we're not going to be able to, because of the structure, the financial fair play, etc. We can't afford to go and get another 2.
But that's hard. But we don't know. Like I say, we don't know what Bond might be on at the moment. Because I imagine he's on championship wages.
There's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes. But no, I think we need to keep him on board. I don't think he's performing particularly well at the moment. But it'll be another one of, if we ship him out on loan, we're never going to see the best of him. You know, how many players have we actually signed, give him a few games, sent him out on loan, and we've never seen him again?
Yeah, in this case, I was thinking more come January. If Junior does come back during that, you'll have Junior and Marriott, and this is working on the assumption we bring in someone else in January who will be the third choice. So he will go back to being fourth choice and not getting much game time anyway. I'd rather see him in League 2, maybe knocking a few in, maybe back to.
Do you know what we should do? Ask everyone at home. Do you think that Carnu in January should go out on loan? Thumbs up if you think that will be the case, and angry faces if you don't think he should go out on loan. Just going to have a quick read of just what people are saying. Yeah, 100% sympathy for Leo. The boy is being killed by playing him out of position, but he will always have to be on the pitch as he's been watched week in, week out, obviously by all the scouts, Arsenal included on that one.
Someone touched on it. I can't remember where it was. Someone like the Tranmere manager or one of the teams who played recently, and their manager came out and said that Leo was the best player he saw playing. Wimbledon was it? Said he was the best player they saw playing on the pitch for us, despite the fact he really didn't shine from our perspective, if you get what I mean. So there's obviously the quality there, and people are noticing it. It's just like you said. I think
he's got to play in the right position. Just going back to the game on Saturday, Grant. I thought Grant. He seemed like a man on a mission in a positive way. You know, what I mean, he was chasing everything down. What I will say though is he got a bit of a nasty tackle on him, and I think it was a good job that the physio had to come on for the other player, because the way that Grant was chasing around, it looked like he was going to take somebody out and get sent off. Did anybody else see that, or was that just me?
That's just
the thing is with Grant though. I don't think
it's the way he plays, isn't it?
But he got a knock, and he was pissed. You know, and he was chasing, and then there was a free kick, and then it all simmered down, and he sort of, as if he got his I better calm down a bit. You know what I mean? I thought he had a good game, to be fair.
He does get that when he gets his yellow. When he does collect his yellow, it does have a calming effect on him. It's like, so is it only once that he's overstepped the line to a second? I mean, for a man who gets as many yellows as he does, you'd expect him to get sent off.
The second yellow he got in that instance as well was a deliberate handball. It wasn't for a nasty challenge, was it?
I don't feel like Grant is a red card man though, because I can't think
he's clever at doing it, and I've got to be honest, I don't like some of the actions.
You know what? I ain't spoke for 6 minutes.
Well, fair play.
Honestly, I just said he's not a red card man, and Dale shot. Go on.
He's talking now.
Well, Adam, we can come back to you in a minute.
Anyway,
Tommy Roberts said, something I can't understand is all the focus is on the strikers not performing, but we're conceding goals. Are Taff and Baldwin good enough? Honestly, over to you.
Don't know how Dale.
Oh, go on.
Taff and Baldwin,
Are they good enough?
individually, personally, yes, but I don't think they're working well together. I think with Stephen Taylor in between them, which we discussed a couple of weeks ago, it works because Taff and Baldwin aren't actually. It's something I've said this to someone else actually Saturday on the terrace. Taff and Baldwin individually are good, but I think they're going against each other a bit. And with Stephen Taylor in the middle, it's helping it. But I don't know.
But you've already said that we conceded what the same goals as
27 goals.
I'd rather go 4 across the back and have either Taff or Baldwin playing alongside Taylor.
Yeah, it'd have to
In
be
the
Taff and
centre.
Taylor you'd pick out.
But you look at
Friends,
Tafazoli, so yeah, when he came from Mansfield last year, it was last season, wasn't it? Yeah, it was last season. I thought it was a really good signing, and straight away, teams were actually coming in for him, weren't they?
Well, he turned down Blackburn to sign for us.
There you go. So I think he is, and he's quite tall, he's quite built. When you take all the makeup off, but it's very.
He's made less mistakes than Baldwin as well. to be
Baldwin, to be fair to Grant on Saturday, he did bring Baldwin off at half time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was the right thing to do because Baldwin was having a mare. I like Baldwin, and I do actually like him. I think he is a good defender. Just makes far too many individual errors.
He is, but they cost us, mate.
But he's really under a microscope for it at the moment as well.
And that's the
Every
point.
error he is doing
He's
is
being criticised for.
Other players are making them.
What errors
but
did he
then-
make on Saturday in the first half? Because
first half.
That point, he got in the corner to cross the book.
okay,
Yeah,
so
and
he
he
made an
missed- and
error.
he missed
He
the
made an
ball.
error
Oh, but that's not his
in the
fault.
corner. No, exactly.
That's not
That's
his
what
fault.
I'm saying to you.
He
It's
shouldn't
the
have
only
done
error
that.
he made on Saturday was the one in the corner, and he gave away a goal kick.
Yeah, but that's just Saturday. Look at the errors
He
that he's
did-
made in previous
yeah, but
games.
he
Where
did-
he
What
has
did we
conceded
say?
goals.
What did we all say watching the Tranmere game? And I know it's against a non-league opposition, but I thought he played really well and he deserved his goal on Saturday.
No, he did. And also, you criticise people for mistakes. Edwards, opening goal. You
Yeah,
know
no.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to allude to
Okay.
is, and it just bugs me, all the Peterborough fan, there's a player, I can't remember the number, kept going down easy, feigning injury, etc. The crowd was on his back. Did anyone notice that? The crowd was on his
I
back.
know what you're gonna
But
say.
when we have a player that does it, he's a hero. You know, you can't have double standards.
Well,
Anyway,
I had an argument with somebody I work with at Posh about a certain Madison, and I think the way we are at the moment, and the way we need some quality in the squad, unfortunately, we have to take all the kind of shenanigans he provides if he's going to give us the assists, the goals, and things like that.
no, we shouldn't.
I know what you're trying to come about. I thought Blackpool players were going to have them very easy on Saturday.
They were.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, but
And
Grant does it every week.
Yes, I know.
No,
and
he plays for them, and I understand. He plays for when he goes down. I know what you're trying to say, but both of their wing backs or full backs, whatever you want to call them, they were going down
They were.
far too easily.
which is what Madison does. And Grant does.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
It's true, honestly. I don't like to see it. And
I don't like it, but it's part of modern football.
But it shouldn't be. It's wrong.
It
I
shouldn't
mean,
I don't like it.
do I look at Walsall when we went there this season? Oztumer cheered at the start or given a nice reception. By the end, all the Posh fans and that and were booing him because he just threw himself.
Just,
We
uh,
can't try and take the moral high ground on that situation though, because it will cost us. We've got to be street smart like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Most of you can be, but I am taking a more highbrow
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I've
That's
never
fair
liked it. I don't like cheating.
As long as you're differentiating between winning a free kick and diving.
Oh, yeah, okay, winning a free kick and
Yeah.
diving is slightly different. Rolling around after he's got a free kick, fair enough. But some of the actions, and not only Madison, I keep using him, but
Others.
there are others. I just don't like to see it at all. In fact, I really don't like it.
You got something to say quickly?
Yeah, I just want to say what, excuse me, Lenny was saying. You know, we did create a load of chances.
Do you like Lenny?
Yeah, I do like Lenny because he talks sense. To be fair,
Sometimes.
most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, we did create a load of chances, and the keeper didn't have sod all to do. But that was the point. We created the chances, but there's nobody on the end of them to put them in. You know, at least 3, 4 that I can think of Madison crosses.
And they were good crosses.
And they were very, and I did give praise, but you know, Dara, you only see the negatives.
If you're defending against us, then you're aware of that. You're aware we've got one striker up front who's not especially tall. So regardless of the quality we've got on the wings, it's always going to be hard to try and pick that man
It
out.
is because going back to what I was saying, Marriott was doing the donkey work, so he can't be there and there and be where the cross should be.
Blackpool had a simple plan. They just defended in the centre of the pitch and were quite happy to let
They
us
were
go
very
out to
narrow,
go in.
yeah.
because they knew if we went out to the wings, they've got to try and get a ball. We've got to try and get a ball across to hit one man in the middle who we can't really try and go for aerially.
Smart.
So we had to play it across the 6-yard box like that. And like you said, if Marriott's dropping back and getting involved in the play now, he can't be in that 6-yard box.
Smart defending by Blackpool. He's just sending us down the wings because they know they can't.
So therefore, that goes back to what I was saying on Twitter the other day about if Marriott's all over here and Maddison's putting in his decent crosses, should he be putting them crosses in at that time, or should he be holding up until someone's closer to then put the cross in? That's what?
But then I've seen the crowd get on his back when he doesn't seem to play a ball when he should be playing the ball.
Yeah, but then he plays a ball when he don't need to. Not only him, Edwards. We was doing it far too often. We was playing what would have been a good ball if we had looked up and saw there was a player there. Too many of the balls were just what we'd normally put in, ready for assuming the attack was going to be there. But without the junior doing the donkey work, Marriott ain't in there to put the ball away. Does it, am I making sense?
How good was that? I know it's one that picked me out. It's actually on the highlights as well. That
Madison's cross from
halfway line.
Oh mate, that's terrible. It was a
he picked it out because Marriott had a good 15 yards to run onto him, but he saw and I rewinded that probably a good couple of times.
It was
unbelievable.
I'll tell you what,
and that is what he's got in him.
Yeah, what really sums up morale though, how bad it's affected everyone in the squad, is the fact 2 games in a row, home games anyway in a row now, Guion has missed the sitter. And both our best player this season.
I said it Saturday.
Opinion, but
Guion,
if he's even missing sitters, you know.
Guion looked really
but it's 2 games in a row. You don't expect that from a player of his standard.
When he came on, though, I thought he looked really lively. And
he did.
I actually said it Saturday just straight after that. I thought he could have gone man of the match.
Yeah, it'd be the first name on my T-sheet.
Yeah. It was, and he's missed a sitter, you know. But he's also creative. So
we've spoken about players not really performing, missing open goals, defenders not really defending that well. Last person to speak about before we move on has got to be the manager, Grant McCann. He's come out and said, I think he, in his interview, papering over the cracks a bit here, saying it's the first defeat in the last 6 competitive games, but that obviously includes the 2 games against Tranmere, the Checker Trade as well. And when you really look at it, it's
3 and 13.
Yeah, we've gone from 1st to 11th in under 3 months. Lost 4 out of 9 home games this season. And since winning our first 4 games this season, we've only won 3 out of the next 13.
Okay, well, let's turn it around.
So let's talk about Grant McCann first.
Yeah, I'm talking about Grant McCann. Let's turn it around to a positive. We've only lost 2 away all season.
Okay, but that's not where the problem. That's not where the problem.
No, the thing is with Grant McCann,
you should be winning your home games.
We're not losing them for a start off.
Not losing your home games.
We should be winning them without that. But people are saying, is it time for him to go? Personally, I don't think it is time for him to go. Not at all. At least the whole of this season. I think our form and our results turn around after the junior injury.
We've won 2 since then.
Okay, well there you go. So we've lost junior.
Since
so our backup, Miller, we've lost Miller. He's up against it and he's trying to do whatever he can to keep the results going with a threadbare front line. Yeah, it's not his fault. I know as a manager you take responsibility and you live and die by your results and your team you pick. But I think 2 of these are extreme circumstances. I know you're always going to get injuries. You are always going to get them. But when you're a League 2, League 1 side, you haven't got the strength in depth that people say, we've got strength in depth. We haven't got the strength in depth. We've got a good team and we've got a couple of good on the bench.
We've identified the 2 key areas where we're struggling through what we've spoken about. The forward line and probably the right back position, both where we're lacking at the moment through injuries and things like that. So like you said, his hands are a bit tied at the moment with what he can do. He can keep moving the team around in the other positions, but those ultimate positions where we're lacking, he hasn't got the opportunity to bring in loads and loads of players.
But just going back to should we back him or sack him? We need to back him. And also in the January transfer window, we do need a striker. We need a decent striker. If McCann doesn't want us financially support him, then to me that would say you might as well sack McCann then.
So you say about striker, and I mean I've said it to you lot personally, and it's actually floated a bit around last night. Koulibaly?
We need something quickly.
And he's a free agent, so we can come in.
This is the argument. This is where I defended Grant before. People have been putting up all these names of this person's free agent, that person's free agent. wasn't a team the other week played a couple of free agent strikers they just signed against us. But the point we haven't gone out and replaced a striker like that is what suggests that our wage limit is we are at that limit. And that's what pushes me even more to believe that Bond will go and the striker will come in using that money. But we can't get anyone.
We created this team in June, July time, and we created it, and it's completely gone pots. We brought Danny Lloyd in for Maddison because Maddison was pretty much gone. Yeah. You know, we had all the strikers. We've already covered it tonight. We wanted Idris to be fourth striker. He's now second striker. It's just the whole team since June and July, which we brought in, has unfortunately gone to pot.
Well, because I've had a couple of mitigating circumstances.
Well, we have. You can't expect Junior to be out for 5 months. You can't plan for that.
Let's get back to Grant McCann as well. Just talking about that, I think Tommy makes a good point, and it's something that I read the other day, and I want to raise the question here. Make no bones about it. If the name's not Grant McCann, he's gone already.
Yeah, but
so if it isn't Grant McCann, if he's not the posh legend that he is, if it was someone else, would he have gone already?
Okay, but it is Grant McCann, so we've got to work with that.
I don't know if he would have gone, to be honest.
And I don't think he would,
because I think Darrow's developed a little bit of a reputation with that with a few of the managers we've had, and I think he would have stuck with this one. Let's not forget. I think I've said it a couple of other times. He said pre-season or last season that we were going to.
That was quite fun.
That he wasn't going to get rid of McCann before Christmas. He said McCann would have at least until then, and then it all depends where we are. We're still within touching distance of the playoffs. Then
With 3 points off playoffs with a game in hand.
Yeah, he's not. So McCann's not going
and
anywhere.
That game in hand's next week. So
to be honest, only 1 in 10 people may be wanting gone at the moment. It is such a small number.
And like you've said, I mean, I feel Darrow has built this relationship with McCann. Darrow's also said 2 years ago that he was selling up, weren't he? So he's obviously. I personally feel, and I'll say this now, even if we got relegated this season, I still think Grant McCann will be manager.
I think he should be. You know, because
I'm not saying we are.
Not in case of relegation.
No, but I still feel like that's. I feel McCann.
It's a big shout, mate.
It is a big shout, but McCann is still learning.
I agree.
That's what we as supporters have got to remember.
Yeah, but
now, are we happy with watching a manager progress, which could become one of the top managers that we've had?
That's fine. Yeah.
Yes, we've been in League One for now 4 seasons, but McCann's only been in charge for a season and a bit.
Yeah, but that's all right if you're talking about if we finish in the lower half. Yeah, if we finish in the lower half, maybe we should still stick with him. But if he took a squad like the one he's got and managed to get it relegated after the start we had as well, I'm sorry, that'd be the point where you couldn't.
He's played Cobblers 3 times, beaten them 3 times. We're going to play Cambridge once and beat Cambridge once.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that makes obviously a lot of fans happy. I think we're going to have to move on. We're going to have to move on, and we're going to have to do. That's fine, mate. But surely you want to do the quiz?
Oh yeah.
I mean, here we go. So obviously we've got 2 games coming up. Pompey tomorrow night, which on paper will win as they're above us and have won 4 out of 7. And we've got Rochdale on Saturday, which again on paper will lose because they have won once in 8.
Rochdale away, it means the season starts that game,
Well,
doesn't
that's
it?
true, yeah.
Good treat it as that.
Ignore everything that's happened so far.
Just before you start that, Ryan Sonley. What's your views on Marcus Madison cheating?
I think he's only just tuned in.
You only just tuned in. We can't discuss it
Rewind.
because there's not enough.
He's a Plymouth fan.
There's not enough battery in the camera. We'll move on.
And
specialist subject.
Rewind through the show later and you'll hear Dale ranting about that. But first, we are going to do the knowing the opposition quiz, the thrilling quiz that we've got on this show. I'm sure you all will enjoy it. So we've got 10 questions about our opposition. We've got 2 teams in Bench and Adele, and we have 5 questions on Rochdale and 5 questions on Portsmouth. Chris and Ben, I think, because Adam and Dell had the decision last week. Do you want questions A or B? A. Questions A. Okay. Easy question to start off with, and you've got questions all about Rochdale. And I'm going to go with the traditional name of Rochdale's ground.
Scotland.
The traditional name.
Scotland.
Wrong.
Scotland, isn't it?
It's Spotland Stadium.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you got to go, mate.
Well, you could say London Road Stadium, but it's just London. You'd
It's not
say
London Grand. But if you look on Wiki, it's called Spotland Stadium, not Scotland.
Thanks for that, Dale, mate.
Actually,
I'm going to give him it.
Scotland.
Right.
Up north.
Portsmouth question. First question for Team Adele. How many times have Pompey won the FA Cup?
Twice.
Twice. Correct. Do you know what years? No bonus.
1988 and 2008.
No.
It's definitely
2008 and 1939. But you got the point anyway. Good stuff. Okay, so players. On loan, Posh midfielder Brad Inman has played 14 times for Rochdale. But how many goals did he score for Posh? Or has he scored for Posh?
Did he?
Yeah, did.
I genuinely can't remember one, but
Is it the fact you're saying that makes me think that they didn't then? I don't remember one.
Time
Do you
is
wanna say
ticking.
no?
Time is ticking. I
Let's
can
go
remember
for
it.
it.
Let's say 0 then.
Correct. Nice one. Nice one.
I was going to say 1 until you said no. He did.
Okay.
It's
Former
pre-season.
Former Posh player Christian Burgess has played for Pompey 96 times. He played 30 games for us in 2014-15. But at what club or which club did he make his professional
We signed him from Hartlepool, didn't we?
debut?
Just repeat the last bit.
At what club did he make his professional debut?
We signed him from Hartlepool, didn't we?
You only ain't that old, is he? We had him for quite a bit.
And he's a southerner that went up north. I reckon it's a London team.
Take Hunt.
Charlton.
You have Charlton? Incorrect. Passes over.
Wasn't he a student or something?
That's not professional debut then, is it?
that was Baldwin who was a student, wasn't it? I think.
No, it was Burgess.
Burgess was a student. That's just making me think. Did he play in like in America? or
Middlesbrough
something?
was in the back of my mind for some reason, but I don't know why, and it could be completely wrong.
Well, I can't think of anything better. But although it does seem he's not.
Time is ticking, boys.
Go for it.
Middlesbrough.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well done.
It's not a London team. Quite far from London, Derek.
Right. Okay, so former Posh player Cozzy and Clay is playing for Rochdale. He made 76 appearances for us before moving to Stevenage. But which club did he make 4 appearances on loan in 2011 while still at the Posh?
I don't know, but I remember him scoring an absolute belter of a goal against Bradford.
That gets you nothing.
It doesn't, but it was still fantastic.
I honestly don't know, but
say
for some
question
reason I'm
then.
thinking Berry.
It's hard, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
they're
go
Rochdale.
for it.
Have you messed up?
No, I haven't messed
no,
up.
No, it's their question.
I looked at you, but asked them. Let's say
I've
sorry.
got no better answer than
Oh,
that. Then, so
That's fine.
Was it?
Yeah, it's great.
You got
What's
the answer?
correct?
What? No.
No,
He hasn't said
He
anything.
looked
Sorry.
at us, but it's your question.
Yeah,
sorry.
Berry.
Incorrect.
St Albans.
Correct.
Oh.
Cheers, Steve. Oh, Connor.
Come on!
Well-
how's that work?
Mate, come on. There's a load.
That's
we've
it just takes as much time to sit here till the answer comes through.
No more answers for Team Bench, please.
Ryan's just come on asking about Dell's cheating now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Luke McGee made 38 appearances for us on loan from Spurs in 16-17, but which other Spurs players signed for us at the same time?
I didn't hear the question.
Ah,
Right.
no, I can picture him.
Be all about. Say the question again.
Luke McGee made 38 appearances for us on loan from Spurs in 16-17, but which other Spurs players signed for us at the same time?
Kenneth McAvoy.
No.
Oh, that's his answer.
Incorrect.
Twat.
It was
Who's got the
guy who
sound
was
on?
at Rangers for a little while as well.
Oh, the winger.
The,
Was it?
Onamar or something like that, was it?
Can I go
Who
back?
sounds on?
Yeah.
Oh God,
I don't know, but you know, that mine's and I'll tell you who the answer is.
Yeah, you got a long time. Only
Right, it's
5
on there.
seconds. 4.
3.
Coolhurst.
No, Onamar.
No.
Oh, I can picture him. He was the
Nathan
Yeah.
Dewar.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Do you know what the worst thing is? I even said that in the club shop the other week to Emma about him. Kenneth McAvoy. It was from Tottenham.
He's Southampton.
Yeah, that was-
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Right.
What's
Question
score?
4. It's 3-2 to Rochdale. We last played Rochdale last season at home on 25th of February. Who scored our 3rd goal that game?
Who's got the second?
Oh, it's so tense.
I'm not convinced. I
We
think
know
so.
he
was it
scored the
again?
first
I've
two.
got it.
Don't stand down, buddy.
Yeah, mine.
I've got it.
What was it again?
Is it there?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah.
sir?
Sorry.
No, you need
Look,
to hurry
look,
up because
I think phones
we're
need to
going
be
to have
turned
cheating
over.
now.
Phones,
aren't we?
just turn phones over.
Please
Phones
turn
over.
phones over. Thank you very much.
Could you repeat the question, though?
I will now. We last played Rochdale last season at home on 25th of February. Who scored our 3rd goal that game? Need to hurry up. I think the viewers are dropping.
Yeah.
Madison.
Incorrect.
Paul Taylor.
Paul Taylor.
That was
Correct.
84th minute.
3-all.
Did Madison score the first?
No.
I've just got another
I
question.
don't know. Tom Nichols got the
And
second.
Nichols got
No,
the second.
I think Jack Baldwin got the first. And Nichols
And
got
we
sent
did the
off.
first and second. It was Baldwin and Nichols.
Okay. We last played Pompey in the league in the Championship on the 28th of January 2012. What was the score?
Hang on. No. 1-0 to Portsmouth. Sure.
Incorrect.
Right. The results were we won 3-2 one game and we lost 3-0 in the other. But I don't remember which. They won 3-0 at our place and we won 3-2 at their place.
Should we go for the latter then?
Yeah, 3-2.
Incorrect. It was the 3-0, mate.
3-2
Oh,
3-2 was
unlucky.
on the Tuesday night when they...
Unlucky.
Can you remember that ball? It was down the left-hand side and Frecklington crossed it in and it was an own goal. That was on the Tuesday.
So
Gabby
it's still-
scored the own goal.
No, they scored no.
Oh, they scored, yeah, but
one in
Gabby scored
90th
one as well.
minute.
didn't
Yeah, not long before.
So it's still 3-all.
Tiebreaker's coming.
So, fifth question. We have played Rochdale in the FA Cup once. This is a hard question, by the way. We have played Rochdale in the FA Cup once in a first round tie on the 16th of November 2002.
Get off your phone.
We lost
I'm getting Google
We
for
lost
Luke.
3-2 away. Name one of our two scores that day.
What year?
2000.
So here we go again. 16th of November 2002, losing 3-2 away in the FA Cup. Name one of our two scores that day. I know it's a hard question, but
Was Mackenzie there? Was
Yeah, go for it.
Mackenzie?
incorrect.
2002. I don't think I went for one.
I can't even think.
2002. 5 seconds.
Who? Go on.
I don't even know who they had at that time.
Grazioli.
No.
He was 2000.
It was either Andy Clark or Neil Fenn.
I thought Andy Clark had left.
Sorry, mate.
Because he scored. He weren't there for 2 years after
Yeah,
Wembley,
not-
was
he
he?
scored at
Not
Wembley.
making up this, mate. I got it from
No, I'm sure.
I got it from Wikipedia, so it must
Oh,
be
well,
true.
must be true.
Right, all to play. Well, no, for the win then for Portsmouth, unless you get it wrong,
Unless
and
you
then
get
pass
it
it
wrong,
over.
obviously, yeah, then it's a draw.
What was this is a hard question. What was Portsmouth's highest ever Premier League finish?
I want to say that.
I actually think it's one higher than that.
Oh, here we go. Viewers can see it at home,
No,
but
no, we'll go with yours.
team bench
We'll go
can't
with
see it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'd be annoyed if it was
No, not at all.
ninth.
For the win, you're saying ninth. Incorrect. For the win, it passes over.
Just because Dale said I want to go one higher, shall we go for it? Just in case.
I was actually thinking 7th, to be honest.
I
I gave Monsters a
actually
guess.
no. I thought 7th to start off with as well. Should we just go for that?
Yeah, go 7th.
Should have listened to Dell.
Oh, it was.
Should have listened to Dell. It was 8th.
We won. Fantastic.
It's a draw.
No, it's a draw, mate. So it's 3-all, and we're going to have the tie-break question, which I'm
You
going
cheated
to
on one.
which I'm going to have to
Hey,
look
I'm
up.
sure you said that was for the win.
No. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah,
for the
if it
win
was.
if you couldn't blind
Do you
me.
want to use my Google? For
So I'll
time
look in a
later?
minute, but the question, so you're going to have to think about it, and I'm going to ask you to write it down because the other week it went a bit wrong. Anyway, it was, according to 2011 census, what is the population of Rochdale? So according to the 2011 census, what is the population of Rochdale? And what we're going to do is we'll carry on, so have a think about that, and I will also have a look, and we're going to talk about, just very, very quickly, Dale, tomorrow night's game against Pompey. Are we winning it? Are we losing it? What you're talking? What's going to happen?
We're winning.
Good.
Simple as
Good,
that.
that. Good,
We're winning.
good TV.
Are you ridiculous? I ain't submitting that.
Don't then. I don't know, we submit whatever you want to submit, and we're wrong twice. It's your fault. No, I think we're going to win. I'd like to see an improvement and a few goals. I know it's a bit warmer than it was the other night.
Keep chatting, boys, about the game tomorrow night.
You're not ready?
Nope. I'm waiting for his.
Are we ready?
Again, like you said, I think the fact that we're playing a higher ranked team in the league and that is probably going to cause us to actually perform a bit better. We seem to pull it out when that's the case, really. And it'd be nice to see Marriott get a goal because he hasn't scored for a little while now, has he? I don't think.
Not in the league, he hasn't.
No.
No, for long. But
Do you start? Who starts at front for us? Do you
I
think?
think Marriott and Lloyd. I think you've
You
got.
still go with Lloyd,
I think
do you?
you've got to start them up front.
It's
together.
disappointing that Lloyd didn't get a bigger run out, to be honest. Yeah, why he was taken off, or was he?
He had to change things though, and I understand.
Or was there nothing else he could have done?
What other striker do you bring on? If you look, because obviously strikers win games, and
Yeah.
there is that. I
Yeah, no,
understand
it's-
why he's brought
yeah.
Kanu on, but it's one of them things, isn't it? He's done it. He's going to get stick for it, but he'll probably get stick for it because he didn't change things. So,
Assuming Guyon starts as well, do we drop Hughes? Do we drop Leo?
well, Hughes
Who
and
plays
Guyon
threes?
can play together. So it's odd. I mean, does he? Because I'm feeling not McCann's feeling it. The vibe from Posh is like
That's-
Baldwin. Do you drop Baldwin? Do you play Taff, Stephen Taylor, Hughes, and then Guyon, and he's going to start Lopez?
If you start, I'd suggest we start Guyon in the number 10 role and push Madison up front.
No, I think go 4-4-2. Put the players in the right positions.
I don't think we can go 4-4-2 though with
Yeah,
the
we
lack
can.
of a right back.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Just put Leo there. Why not? Anyway.
But that just sort of goes against what you just said.
It
Put them in
does.
the right positions. Yeah, put him there.
It just is frustrating, man. It really is frustrating. But,
God, this is so hard to work out. Everybody's
Do you need a
waiting for this.
calculator?
No, it's right. Listen to this then.
Right,
Here we
right.
go.
Population of Rochdale.
So the population of Rochdale was, according to the 2011 census, and people had a guess, so I'm quite enjoying that. 15,000, no, that's way too low. 90,000, way too low. I think Chris has been definitely on Wikipedia because 211,699 is in fact the total.
actually,
So
I'm not gonna lie.
we had 40,000 from Team Bench, and we had 410,000
Oh,
from Team
I think
Adele.
we won.
So that means
Yes.
Team Adele wins it.
Do you know what you put originally?
410,000, you sure?
Yeah, we got 100 and...
What was it? 200.
Well, we lost.
No,
They
no, hang on a second.
Hang on a second.
said, mate, they're only 160,000 out. And
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
we're-
fair, the amount of time
Oh yeah,
it's
they're
taken is
170,000 out.
And we're.
200.
200,000.
Yeah, so we lost.
no, 199,000.
Look what
Yeah.
Dell originally put, 4 million. But Rochdale, they've got Oldham, Bury, Stockport,
Well, all I was
Rochdale,
saying-
all of
I'm
ours.
surprised it's that
this
high,
is
if I'm
brilliant.
honest.
Well, the amount of
Honestly.
time it's taken you to work it out, probably it's gone down by about 100, where they've all died.
Right.
But
Team
anyway,
Bench won it. Well done, boys. I think we'll move on for this and just do predictions. So we've got the prediction
Never
league,
get
Chris.
this
Obviously, we
countdown.
can't show it. I'm
Cheating
gonna count,
got
I'm
you
gonna count
nowhere.
it. I'm going to
Count
count
it.
it as well. We've obviously got the prediction league. We can't actually show it, but we will get it out to you in the next few days. Chris, no change, I imagine, because I don't think anyone would have predicted that.
I don't think there's been a lot of change towards the top. I don't think anybody went for us to lose against Blackpool and Kyle was able to score. I don't remember anybody coming in with that. Did have a few people come in the week before with Lyle Taylor to score and a couple of people going for the draw as well.
But they
But
didn't
again,
get to-
points have been a bit
27,
scarce like they have been for the main team. So
We have got an absolutely fantastic prize, by the way, for this. I went and picked this up from Steve from Serpentine Green the other day. A signed shirt, all boxed up. It looks absolutely wicked. I should have put it on the show tonight, but I left it in the other room. But it looks really good. So make sure you keep getting your predictions in. Look out for the tweet that will come out from Adam in the next couple of days. And it will be for the game on Saturday. Quickly, we'll go around the room. 2 predictions, though, Dale. 1 for Pompey, 1 for Saturday's game against Rochdale. But only the Rochdale game will count. Off you go.
okay, Portsmouth, 4-2 Madison.
I wonder what he's going to go for.
and on
Rochdale.
and on Saturday,
18
I
goals.
think it may be 4-2 Madison.
Okay, thank you. That's great, Dale.
Give me nice
Adam?
and easy. 1-0 on both. With Marriott Saturday.
I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow night. Probably Marriott, and I'm going to say 1-1 on Saturday with Marriott again.
I'm going to do the same as Adam. No, I'm going to change it a bit. 1-0 Portsmouth. Again, we'll beat Portsmouth 1-0. And we'll beat Rochdale 2-0 and Guyon.
1-1 tomorrow night, and I reckon we're going to lose 2-1 to Rochdale.
Just very quickly, while we're
But I'm
on
going
it,
to say we're going to score first. Marriott to score first for us against Rochdale.
it's,
but
it's
we
something
lose
that
2-1.
we haven't brought up tonight, actually, and it's something that which last year I mentioned it earlier. What do you think Luke McGee's reception will be like tomorrow?
Should be
Should be
good.
fine.
Should be good, shouldn't it?
But I mean, it's just there's mixed emotions and why he's gone to Portsmouth. You know, it was all.
They
It was all
offered him double the amount of money we could possibly
he
offer
said,
him.
was it money? You know, he said that he wanted to come back to us. Was it Spurs saying they wouldn't release him until?
He's got a lot of money. Also, he was signed by a man that he's been working with closely at Spurs as well. So, to be honest,
It's just
I've
just seen a couple of people earlier on social media saying that he might get a mixed review. But like I say, he did well for us.
Well, I hope he gets just an okay view until he, you know,
to be honest,
until he scores an own goal in the 90th minute. And then he'll be Posh.
Well, I've said just to get 2 wins because I can't bet against Posh, but in my head, I am fearing that because he's coming back, he's going to have his best game of the season in front of us.
Madison penalty, and Madison ain't missed a penalty yet, is he?
Oh, there you go.
That brings it back on Madison.
Sorry,
he scored 7 goals, and he 7 goals, 5 penalties. Is that right?
Is it?
Getting that way, yeah. Also scored goal of the season.
Fair play for scoring 5
All I'm hoping for is that our season doesn't nosedive as much as that pigeon did on Saturday.
Brilliant, fantastic.
What happened now? I missed that.
You missed it. It was just brilliant. Just a brilliant piece of pigeon.
I thought Liv was going to explain that.
I know, it was great. The pigeon just went like that. Anyway, let's move on to what I think is one of my favourite parts of the show, and it's the TalkPosh Worst Ever 11. Those of you who did tune in on Saturday, thank you for tuning in. You would have found out who you guys voted for as your centre back.
Wednesday, not Saturday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Who you voted for as your worst ever centre back. And to be honest, there can only be one person. And congratulations to the big loser,
Ricardo Santos.
Ricardo Santos.
Can you see that clearly enough? It looks very much like him.
He gets to go in our centre back. Next week we're going to be doing the centre midfielder. We had a quick discussion about this last Wednesday, didn't we? The thing, and someone came up with Adam Fry. I think he could be a good shout. I can't really think of anyone else, boys. Just quickly,
Right, I couldn't actually get past the Adam Fry name once someone actually brought it up. But are we counting someone who never really played?
Well, it depends who it is.
Yeah, well, cool.
Well, he did play, didn't he?
Yeah, he did play, didn't he?
When?
Didn't he? I'm sure.
Was he got an appearance?
Right, hold on. He was
No,
one of
he
the
might
best.
have got an appearance
Yeah.
in
Well,
one of the
there you
lower
go.
cups or
There
something.
you go. He played.
Someone about
Close
regular games.
But obviously, it's all
If
down.
not, if we're doing it just on one even, then it's hard to look past Adam Fry, isn't it?
And obviously, it's up to you guys. So look,
Free
again,
appearances.
look out for the tweet.
Auto windscreens.
Or windscreens, yeah, probably. Look out for the tweet coming from Adam in the next few days. Get your nominations in, and there will be a vote at the end of it.
You'll have to explain
I
that
think-
to Alex next week. Your twin screens.
Apart from the better of the week, which we're going to do offline, but thank you to Head to Wear Barbers for that over in Yaxley. They were going to be doing that. So all good. I think that's about it tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for everyone to listening. Thank to our sponsors, the spicemarket.co.uk, Serpentine Green Shopping Centre, and Head to Head Barbers. Tune in to next week's show, which hopefully Alex is back and we get all that fancy stuff again. Probably won't. Probably no sound and all that again, won't it? Probably. Yeah.
You really scored tonight, though. Well done.
Oh, by the way, you're going to see Chris running up afterwards. You've got to go and turn off it. So up the posh, Chris, do your run.
3 years, mate.
Do your run. Up the posh.
Oh.
Oh.
I suppose I'll be the pigeon.
There's a few thumbs up there.